Hey, Nick here. Hope all is well. Welcome to day 60 of the Starting a Software Company in 100 Days project. Based on my video yesterday, this is maybe a better title would be starting a software product or building a software product in 100 days. Um, but with that said, we have made a lot of good progress on the MVP, and so today I'm going to give you an overview of that process. And so here's the dashboard screen where you log in. You can see what processes are currently in place for within your account. And then you can go up to the top here. You can activate different processes, turn them on. We're also going to sync this process up with Zapier so you can make those activations using Zapier, creating a trigger. And so if we go and look at these are a lot of templates, a lot of test processes. But if I go look at this process, I would have, this is called the apartment checkout. I would have customer details I can enter here. I would have, a kitchen inspection. This would be a good example of what a more complex task would look like. And so, the example for this process is if I'm a property manager, I would be checking a tenant out of an apartment, and I would have a variety of tasks to complete during that checkout process. And so one of them would be a kitchen inspection. And first of all, we got to change the styling of a lot of this. We just need to do a lot of tweaks to the styling because I'm not happy with it. And so, ignore that for now. And so I would add, let's say the cleanliness of the kitchen is a 4. And then looks like there needs to be a little bit of work on the UI there. Does it need supplemental cleaning? No. And so I could go ahead and save that. If you notice, the cleanliness of the kitchen and doesn't need supplemental cleaning are required fields. So I can't complete that task until those questions have been answered. So I save that, and then now you can see the kitchen inspection is done here. So we can see we have one of the 3 tasks completed. So this dynamically is tracking the user response, and we have a little bit of a kind of a console log queue here. So we can complete those tasks. We can we have due dates in process. The other things we've added here, we'll go back to our processes. We have our templates. We can create a new template, and then we can just go through and I'll set up a process here. Just new. We have a due date. Just pick a random due date. We need to change this due date We need to refactor the due date here, and I'll show you why in 1 minute. And so this is a property management tag. We're going to tag an employee here, Sam, and then we create the process. So then we go into our process design screen where we design the process. And so we're going to be adding multiple actions here. So you can add tasks, you can add a few different key process components via this screen. So here's one of the major things we've done is the due date. So we first of all, you create the title of your task, you include the description. We're going to make, as I've talked about in other videos, we're going to use Rails action text to make this a much more dynamic text field where you can upload images, you can style it, you can add bullets, numerical lists. But we have a due date here. So after this certain process was initiated, so after this, you turn on the template, you can say, all right, this is 7 days until the due date for this task will be 7 days after the process is initiated. And then you could say after a certain task is completed. So we could say 7 days after, task number 1. If this was task number 5 in the list, you could say we need that done 4 days after task number 1 is completed. And so we don't have any tasks here. And then we can assign employees to this task. We can add all these different components to the task, like I talked about before. We can add drop downs. We can add this linear scale. Here's an interesting one. It's a multiple choice grid. So you can have, that's maybe not the best example, this checkbox grid. So you can have different rows and columns of checkboxes. So you could say, if we go back to the property management example, we could say, if this was a 1-bedroom apartment, we could say we have a kitchen, a living room, bedroom, bathroom, hallway, and needs cleaning. So you'd have one row, 5 columns, and you could click on whichever one of these needs supplemental cleaning. So that's a pretty powerful form component. Once again, I don't think the styles here are exactly where we want them in their final state. I want to clean this up a little bit. I feel it's a little too constricted. We need to add some drag and drop to move components along. And so I think what we're going to be doing is we're going to be extending this window off to the left to take up more of the screen, given that we're going to de-emphasize the decision part of this, the decision part of the process building. Based on what I've talked about in prior videos, we're going to add a more flexible way to do conditional logic. So yeah, that's where we're at today. We can complete tasks. We can track the progress of them on the dashboard. We can build out process templates. We can activate process templates. And what we're going to be working on the next few days, our developer is going to be building out the team portion of Playbook here. So when you can add teammates, you can create teams, you can assign people to those teams, and just the whole user invitation authentication process is what we are going to be adding here over the next couple days. So just wanted to give you an overview of where we're at with Playbook, what the software looks like to date. It's a little rough around the edges. Need to clean a lot of things up. A lot of little micro interactions need to be cleaned up, but we've made good progress so far, and so just wanted to share that with you, and we'll keep you in the loop here, and I'll add another video tomorrow. So thanks for following along. This is day 60 on the Starting the Software Company in 100 Days journey. Hope to be able to talk to you, interact with you, and just appreciate you following along. And hopefully I can add some food for thought, add some value to you as you're approaching projects like this in your business going forward. So with that, that's where Playbook stands today. Have a wonderful day.